Hello, everybody, and welcome to Game Day Squad's Aussie Rules live show. We are here. I've titled this "The Last Dance" because I guess for the Aussie Rules game, it is going to be the last show of the season. But when one thing ends, there are new beginnings, and for me, that has been the women's Aussie Rules game. This will be the last time that I'll be even thinking of these type of players. I am full go mode preseason, so if I'm a bit out of sorts today. That'll be apologies because my head is elsewhere. I'm so excited for that season that's about to start. But Cal, for the last time, let's chop it up and let's get into this round 24.
Yeah, I'm keen. I know you called it The Last Dance. For me, I don't know that's fitting. If they did a documentary on Michael Jordan's end at the Wizards, that's probably more what this video would be for my season. So yeah, I wish I could go out with a prize card, maybe 6 in a row, or
Same.
three, 6.
Well,
yeah, you know what I meant. But yeah, no prize cards for us. But they're still up for grabs this week for a few lucky coaches who are still in the top 10 hunt, and it's getting pretty close in some of those comps.
100%. Well, we'll have a look at that in just a second, but let's get into our little warm up as we like to do. It's going to be a kickoff question, Cal. You told me this week that you've got something lined up.
Yeah, well, obviously, prize cards is on everyone's mind at the moment. So are your Swannies on top of the ladder. So I wanted to give it to you right now. If I offered you a Errol Goulden prize card, let's say you could somehow work your way into a 2024 Errol Goulden prize card, would you take that over a Swans premiership?
Nah, I wouldn't do it.
Is it close or?
It would be the only prize card that I'd consider, though. And even with that consideration, I'm not taking it. I'll rather see the Swans go up because if I do that, I realize it would just be the most amazing year of sports for me, and it'll probably never happen again. Where sort of all my teams have lined up. So
except your Pats in the NFL.
Yeah, well, you never know. What if we come out and go and win it all? But I have a strong feeling that is nearly impossible. And Lions, mate, hello, welcome to the Aussie Rules Show. Last one of the season, mate. It's good to have you around here. What about yourself, Cal? What if you could be given a Port Power premiership, but you could get either Butters or Rosie All-Star? And I assume you'd probably rather Butters because you already have.
Well, for an All-Star, I wouldn't do it. You'd have to be a prize card, and then I've already got a prize card of one of the boys I love. So, no, I would take a Port premiership, and I'd happily...
Maybe the wrong one. But anyway.
Maybe the wrong one. Well, you know what? I remember I was on the fence about it. I was 50-50, and I remember reaching out to the Keeper League podcast and Hef, and I'm like, Hef, make this decision for me. I'm so torn. And he said, easy answer, Rosie. And then, I don't know if we got it right, Hef, but I tell you what, Butters is still Rosie's still pretty good, so I didn't do too bad.
Nice. Well, speaking of too good, let's get into our players that we're going to be starting in this round. We're going to kick it off with the Melbourne Demons versus Collingwood, and as you can see there, we have the matchup matrix, just so you know, that is over the past 5 rounds, and the averages you were looking at as well are over the past 5 rounds. So we're having a look at some recent form and some recent matchup data for these squads, and there's a lot of green there. There's a little bit of red as well, but I'm loading up on this game, at least in comparison to you. You're just starting Nick Dacos. I have Jack Viney. I have Rivers. And look, we spoke about the last dance, Cal. But I've sort of just gone, you know what? It's my last week. I've got nothing to lose. I've got nothing really to fight for in terms of a prize card or anything. So let's throw some left field players in my squad this round. And Viney's going to be one of the first ones that'll come up here. I feel like that's a player that not many people, if any, will have heading into this round, but I'm backing him in. I think it's a good matchup for him and a lot better than what some of the numbers will say, and that he could get it going against Collingwood. So why not?
I do like the Viney pick. He has the ability to go really big. And I always put him and Treloar in the category of players that are really good but never good enough to be in your squad. And Treloar's obviously broken out of that this year. So Viney,
I was about to say, surely he's broken out.
So Viney's in that camp for me where he's just week to week, he's never going to be hurting putting his hand up for the All-Star squad. But he's always a really solid player. And I've got his diamond. I do like playing it in the champion competition. But I see the appeal of what you're doing this week. I also thought about going a bit rogue. Our good friend Bales DT, who's also your co-host of the Women's Aussie Rules show, he came
Sure
third
is.
in the Classic this week, which is far better than you and I have done all season, and we've had 23 cracks at it.
I came third or came fourth?
Yeah, I think So Bales has the crown there, and
He
I
does
don't
have a
like
crown.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm happy for him, but I don't like it. So you're saying that we don't
Okay.
have much to play for. We have to. I know you always try and beat me, but we've got to beat him this week. So I like that, and I like Rivers as well. Obviously, you've gone that, even though the matchup's a little bit tough if he's going to be getting that midfield time. So that's a bit of a
Yeah, but I think the numbers are a little bit skewed here just because, like, as we said, it's past 5 rounds. But if you look at Collingwood over the season, they're actually a really positive matchup for midfielders. They're the fifth easiest in the competition. I know season isn't the entire picture, and rounds and recent form definitely comes into it. But I'm not going to buy into that red too much. I'm going to trust my gut, and my gut tells me that in this matchup, someone like Viney could have 10 plus tackles. And if he's going to do that, then I think he's actually going to score quite well. So I'm sort of banking in the fact that that's going to be the case. And hopefully he can deliver some goods for me, and likewise with Rivers. It'll just be fast-paced. There'll be lots of pill. And he actually was dominating last week. Just unfortunately, a lot of his possessions ended in handballs, which really hurt his fantasy score. But this week, I'm expecting a little bit better. He's going to, if he can go for 30 disposals again, I don't think he'll score as low as he did last week with the 102.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I've got maybe I'll just save a bit of time throughout the show. I'll just if I say Ken Coon, it basically means that I just don't want to play a team that is done. So in this scenario, you're gonna have Collingwood going for it. Melbourne, their season's done. So yeah, a few players will try, but I don't want to trust any of them. It's gonna be weird.
Which is why I think it could be a Viney and Rivers game, because they're not your star players. Like, they're not going to be the ones that come up, but they're your dogs. They're just the guys that'll be in and amongst it. But you played Dacos in saying that, and that's because you're thinking Collingwood, they're going for it. They've got nothing to lose, so
not just is he going for it, and I actually am going to make a change here. I'm making a live change. I haven't had a chance to update the slides. I'm going to play Dacos, but I've got a platinum of him. I'm going to downgrade another platinum I've got at the moment. I was thinking about this afternoon. This guy is going to want 3 Brownlow votes more than anything else. He knows his team's not making the finals. So his whole game is going to be, can I get myself 3 votes? And I'm going to be sitting there playing a platinum on him and hoping that he just goes after every single football, every chance. So, yeah,
I'll tell you what.
I reckon he's in for a huge game because of that.
I definitely agree with you, but I'll tell you what, the media definitely doesn't think that he's the Collingwood, their time's up. They're back in the bin. They really think that they can get there and get the job done. Gosh.
Hey, I'm happy that they think they're still in it, but yeah.
But surprising, no one went Maxi Gorn. I just think that might be due to the recent form of some other rucks that we'll probably get into a little bit later. There he is, Platinum Dacos in for the Peanut Butters. Let's get into round 2 or game 2, Cal. We've got Geelong versus the West Coast Eagles.
Funny game because Geelong obviously need to win. So I do like your strategy here. It's the reverse Ken Coon. You think they're going to win and they think they're going to win comfortably. So you've got Myers and Cameron there, who I don't mind. Although that yo-yo of Myers, I don't know, was he up last week? Is he going to be down this week?
Oh, gosh, you just never know, do you? I am a little bit scared, but they had 80 and 99 respectively. So Myers with 80, Cameron with 99. But I feel like Cameron just could have one of those games where he has 5 goals. You know, they don't really have a key defender that's going to be able to just defend, like, play him one-on-one. He's just so versatile and he's so good in those areas. And if I'm not mistaken as well, McGovern is out. So probably the only person that you might think could match up against Tommy Stewart won't actually even be playing. So I think it could be a feast for Jezza this week. Hence why I've put him into my forward line. And I'm sort of just thinking that if the Geelong get on top, Myers and Tommy Stewart are some of their connecting players. And hopefully they get the ball in their hands a lot as well.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I have also rolled in on a big forward this week. So I think someone is going to do the Jesse Hogan of last week. Spoiler,
Yes.
it's not Jesse Hogan.
Not Hogan?
Not Hogan. But yeah, I do like the strategy. You've gone Duggan over Yo.
Yep.
Yo's been in a bit better nick. Do you want to talk through that?
For sure, for sure. I don't think by much. Like Duggan's actually been playing quite well. I think he had that really hot start to the season, and then he had a couple, let's call them bad games, and they were. And people just have sort of thrown him to the side and thought Duggan's just not startable anymore. But he truly is. And I know that some of his form is up and down, but last week he had 121 points, 73 the week before, but then 133 the round prior to that. So there definitely is a bit of up and down, and you need to pick your matchup with him. But I guess hence all the things I just said, if they all come true, then the ball's going to be in their defense a lot. And Duggan loves a touch, and he loves getting the ball out of their defense for the West Coast. So if someone's going to be doing it, I think it's going to be Duggan, and he might even get a little bit of time in the midfield as well. And you can see there that the midfield matchup is quite positive against both of these squads. So bit of upside for me, and I'm going to play it.
Yeah, either way, you're going to win because you're either going to have your boys kicking goals or Duggan taking kick-ins. So
that's the plan. We'll see how it goes, hey?
I like it.
We will see how it goes. Cal, I reckon that wraps us up for this game. Let's get straight into game 3, and this is called the Sam Flanders game.
This is called just a Cancun Fest. I didn't want to play anyone, but I can't not play Flanders. I didn't play him last week. I was scared of his 2 scores. I thought he'd gone on holidays, but he's bounced back with 115, which, isn't crazy. But as a forward, you kind of need to play him if you're scoring 115 because the stocks down there can be a bit tricky at times. So I don't love that I'm playing him. I reckon it'd be one that I'd potentially, if you try and do something a bit rogue, I can see the case for dropping a Flanders. But I think most people will play with him. It's pretty fair. And there's no one really else I want to talk about anyone else. And I don't want to hear about Daniel Rioli being on the screen.
Oh, that's exactly who we're talking about. Look at third at the top there. Recent form. Just when you came out saying his season is done.
His season is done. It has been done for
legacy
weeks.
Games back to back to back. My boy Dan Rioli is, do you know what he's doing to me though? Because he just wants me to ride in him again next preseason, and he's going to do the same thing. It's going to be this horrible start to the year, and then he's going to shoot up towards the end of the year. Give me that little glimpse of hope, that glimmer at that, and then he's we'll see how it plays out. But thank you, Dan Rioli, for at least bringing back my vision somewhat at some slither of a degree, because it was getting bad at points of this year.
I understand people falling for it in the preseason. Everyone's high on everyone. Then don't do it. Rioli had 1 good game in the last month. The other 4 have been under 100. Do not play Dan Rioli. Move on.
I will say there's a bit of trade rumors about him, and there's a lot of trade rumors for a lot of people in this game. Actually,
the whole Richmond team gone.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be bizarre. I'm keen to see what a year of Hardwick at the Suns does. What does he come in and do? Does he clear out a bunch? Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Could he come get some old buddies from Richmond, bring him up to the GC? We will see. So this will be a good one, but it is a bit of a Cancun Fest, as you said. Women's fantasy footy is back. The Women's Aussie Rules game is live on Game Day Squad. If you haven't signed up for it yet, just go to the Game Day Squad or the Women's Aussie Rules portal. You'll see it there, the sport, click into it, and you'll get your starter packs. You'll just need to name your squad as well. So do so. The season is starting next Friday. It'll be the first all up at that. I'm so pumped. I can't wait. We've got some more content coming out for you soon. We've done our preseason rankings. We've had a look at some of the best position changes, and we are giving away an all-star card for our Women's Aussie Rules game. But you'll have to go to those recordings to find out how you can enter and how you can have your best chance at winning.
I like
it. Go there.
It's a goodie. It's a goodie, I promise.
Absolutely is. Cal, let's get into game 4. And we are going to be talking about Hawthorn and North Melbourne. And Cherry, look at that average. Just my goodness. First of all, I knew that this would be the case. We're both going to be having Cherry, and for good reason, because he is maybe the best player in fantasy right now to have.
No. Not maybe. There can't be a maybe in that sentence. Look at that 5-game averaging. He's almost averaging 160 points.
Disgusting.
He is the best player in fantasy at the moment. And the question is going to be, which I can't wait to see how it unfolds, how high does Cherry go in the prize draft? Is this guy going 1?
Okay, I feel like this guy, just my gut feel right now, people have different opinions, but I'd probably be going the likes of Dacos, Goulden, like the young studs first. But I could see him creeping around that anywhere between 5 to 8 mark because he's so
I
young
reckon he's
for
4.
a ruck.
I reckon he's top 4.
Serious.
I reckon that's tier 1. And
He's part of your tier 1
he's part of
or
my tier
just
1.
below. Okay.
He's part of my tier 1. He's an absolute cheat code. Imagine if you could roll out a prize card cherry. You'd be up with the Seaman who's currently first in the classic competition. I'm surprised he doesn't have one with how dominant he's been this year. So I tell you what, he's up there. So anyway,
It'd be interesting to see how far he does fall. I do say, or how early he's taken at that.
So it's almost like we need a draft or some sort of live event to keep up with it.
We just might. We'll definitely have some more details on that coming out soon. But Jerry, Moore for both of us, two of the better informed players in general. Moore, you can see they're 121 fantasy point average over the past 5. As a forward, just looking like a must start at the moment. But I want to talk about your two other players because I feel like they're your vanilla picks. Let's talk about Sicily and Fisher. Fisher coming off a fantastic game, but Sicily, some really big concerns because he had a bit of a stinker last week. And the only reason I know that is because I started him. Yep. 64 fantasy points, Cal. Get into why you are backing both of these players in again for the last round of the season.
I think he just had a bit of a stinky matchup, and I'm just going for something a bit different. And, if I'm looking at the numbers, there is nothing that tells me I should be playing Sicily this week. I just have a feeling. Against North, he's going to boss them around. The Hawks are coming for the finals, and I reckon Sicily is going to be that leader of boys, and he'll show them the way. So, yeah, I've got no actual analysis behind it other than I just have a feeling it's a Sicily game. So
fair enough, mate.
I wish I had more for that, but just quickly, just the last thing on Dylan Moore. It's going to be the last time we get to play him as a forward, which is sad. He'll be going.
Look at him right here
into the midfield.
We love you, Dylan Moore. Thank you for your service.
But you never know. I said when Geordie Dawson went into the midfield, we'd never play him again, and I was wrong. So you never know.
Dylan you were horribly wrong at that. That was so good. That still feeds me my ego to this day, saying that Jordan Dawson All-Star card is a stinker of a card to have.
I stand by it. By it.
Yeah. But speaking, I know you alluded to before, loading up on a forward. And I think we've just found that man. Joe Danaher, mate, talk to me about what you're expecting from him this round and why you're thinking a gold is where you want to go with this.
Because I think he's going to have a day out and kick 6 or 7, maybe even more.
We've seen it.
The Danaher show against his old club, they are, and again, absolute Cancun territory for every single Essendon player, which is why I've avoided them all. And you know how much I love playing Merritt. I think I played Merritt, at 90% of the games this year. Love playing him, love watching him, but no, staying away from them. And I think on the flip side, I think the Lions just going to tear them apart at the Gabba. And I think Danaher is going to be the one leading that charge. I just hope he's just kicking straight. But yeah, if it's a choice between Danaher and Hipwood, I know who I'm rolling with. So that's the case for that. You haven't gone that way. We've obviously gone Zorko. We don't need to talk about him. I think he's going to be a lock in everyone's squad.
Yep.
Did you think about Danaher at all?
No, not really. But I do understand why you're doing it. I do understand for sure. For me, it would have been picking sort of between Jeremy Cameron and Danaher, and I've just gone the Cameron route, my personal opinion. I do think there's a really good key forward to play for this round, just not for me. Joey Danaher. I do have a silver, though. I would have to play a silver. I don't have a bronze. But I'd rather play my bronze. Jezza, and I'm not too worried. Nick Martin, Caldwell. I feel like with this round, I just played a lot of my favourite players and players over the year that I've just fallen in love with. This is like my dream love team. And I'll be honest with you, I was going to roll out my English All-Star card until I heard that he might not even be playing.
Well, they said earlier, yeah, I think it's a bit of a bluff. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Bevo ruled him out at the start of the week, and then it's extended squad, so it's not the final squad. So, yeah, stay away from your Tim English.
I really wanted to play Timmy English. I have to say, I really wanted to pull him out there with some of my favourites, but not this round, unfortunately. But yeah, Nick Martin, he's been elite. Can't complain.
So I was just going to say on the Tim English, I think Tim English sums up your season perfectly. Just incredibly high expectations. Fell apart, just lost mid-season form, has watched others around him jump. The potential is still there. You're not jumping off the English train, but now we're talking about Cherry above him. So yeah, I think it'd be fitting if you played him to finish the year because
yeah, I know. I wish I could. I really wish I could. But yeah, that next year I'll be back with a vengeance, and at least I was.
And a 5-year deal. And a 5-year deal.
Yeah, well, true. If I'm going down that route, fantastic. I'll get paid. He had his worst season, or at least presumably in a long time, and they thought, let's lock him up. 5 years, let's do it. Keep him in the dog pound.
Yeah, I don't know if the deal's done yet, but it's if it's not, maybe it is.
Gosh,
but,
it's done on social media, at least on the Bulldogs Twitter. So
is it
for their
Team English deal?
Yeah.
Well,
we'll see. We will see.
There you go. Closing, turned his back and signed a 5-year deal. There you go. I thought I read it somewhere.
Let's get into the next game. My Swannies. This is the battle of me and Bales. No, my Swannies.
Our Swannies.
Come on. Battle of me and Bales, mate. This is it.
Hopefully it ends better than last year's game. Remember that? The old post incident?
I thought last year's game ended great.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure you told the umpire, the goal umpire, that when you met him. Yeah, it should be a good game, this one, because Cancun, Britain all over it. But I've gone Jordan Dawson just because I feel off the back of last week, he looked really good in a team that was miserable. So
he did.
I'm going to roll with that because I think it's going to be another poor outing for the Crows. I think your boys are going to run all over them. And I think Geordie Dawson is just going to be getting heaps of touches. But like I told you during the game, I'm like, I can't believe this guy is on the fantasy points that he is, because I've never seen a person have so many points yet have so little impact on the game. And that is that. And I'm not just saying that because of my take on him at the start of the year, me saying not good enough. So that's not out of spite, Jordan. That's just what I saw.
It is out of spite, and you sound like a fool at the moment. Jordan Dawson was so good, but his teammates around him, I'll tell you what, there wasn't much else going on, unfortunately. But look,
Rankin got dropped. I'm sorry, not Rankin. Rochelle got dropped. Rankin also got dropped. But Rochelle actually got dropped.
Way too soon, Cal. Goodness gracious. He did. All right. We all saw it. But I'm starting my Jordan Dawson All-Star because of the Team English news. So I do have the double All-Stars in this one, and then Heaney.
Oh. So yeah, got to play Heaney. I've stayed away from Goulden. I thought this week again something different.
That's good because now he's about to explode because you've finally joined on this. Goulden is matchup proof, and the second you said that, he's had his worst games in like back-to-back weeks. So get out of here, mate.
Yeah, happily. Matty Roberts, can I just call him out because he's currently a midfielder in game day squad. He will be a defender next year. I don't know that for certain, so don't quote me on it. But I'm pretty comfortable when the stats come out and they provide them to us. He'll be listed as a defender, which means he'll be a defender in our game. Yep. And Matty Roberts, I'm not going to say he's going to be playable every week, but I tell you what, there's going to be patches where he's going to be in your squad. Think of like a Duggan or a Yo type in and out of your squad. So you're going to want him. So if you're looking for a player to pick up in round 24 when everyone else is getting ready for their holidays, Matty Roberts. I've already picked up a few myself.
Dan Rioli written all over it already. I love it, though. I love it. Good old Roberts, mate. Yeah, he will get presumably, as you said, gets a position change. He's been playing pretty good footy. You can see that 5-round average right there, 122. So numbers are doing the talking for him as well. Game 7, Cal. The Bulldogs versus the Giants, and you've seen Brent Daniels last round, and you've gone, nah, I want all of that in my forward line this week. Talk to me about that and after his just miraculous performance in round 23.
Yeah, he was everywhere, and I can't not watch the game and watch his performance and be like, I don't want that guy running around in my forward line. In another game now that is obviously a really good matchup against the Dogs, but also a game that matters too. So it matters for both these clubs. So Giants need a win, obviously, to get into second. And the Dogs, I think, need a win to guarantee a top 8, I believe. Yep. But I care more about the Giants because that obviously impacts Port. So I do think it's going to be a great game. I don't actually know who wins it, but I've gone for a bunch of those players there. Whitfield's going to be a lock for everyone. He's just been in spectacular form. Look at that, 141. Treloar, 140 as well. He's been the pick of the midfielders for them, which is crazy because Bont's in that squad. So, but yeah, Tom
Seriously.
Green's probably the one that I was thinking that, hey, not many people are going to be playing him in what potentially is going to be a tough matchup. But you've got him as well. So you've looked at my
Yeah.
squad and you said, yeah, I want some of that.
Well, you know that. No, that's not true, firstly. I know you know that deep down. But so one of my favorite players, and I'm going with it. As I said, I just had some decisions where it was like 50-50, and I'm like, I saw something on Twitter today. It actually inspired some of my decision making. And it was like, what's the best piece of fantasy advice you've been given? And I read through the comments, and one was just play your favorite players because you won't be as annoyed at your favorite player if they don't perform than if you played someone who you're on the fence about, but you have no relationship to. And I was like, you know what? That could be good for my soul for the last round. So if it all does come apart, it's okay. I'm playing people I like.
I love that. Shout out that anonymous ex-user.
Shout out.
Yeah, that's a really good one because it does make it watching it a lot of fun, particularly someone like Nick Dacos, right? If I didn't play a Nick Dacos card, I'll be watching the footy tomorrow night, just annoyed with every single cheap footy he's trying to get. But now I'm going to be sitting there with a smile on my face. So yeah, fantasy, right? Changes how you watch football for the better. Most of the time.
Absolutely does, man. But yeah, this game, I actually feel like it's going to be a good game for fantasy. I like how you've got a lot of players in it. I'm just looking at Whitfield and Green as two of the better players in this one. And I love the Daniels play. Is that just a little bit of FOMO from last round? Who knows? But even despite last round, over his past 5 performances, he has had 4 of them over the triple-digit mark. And when your forwards are quite thin, especially in this round, I really like the play. I don't think it's just a FOMO thing. I actually think he's in really good form, irrespective, and he definitely deserves to be in people's squads. So,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm not missing out this week, Brett.
That's it. Let's get into game 8. This will be a goodie. Carlton versus the Sainers, and you know how I said before that he's one of the best players, and it was only because I knew Rowan Marshall's form. There's only a couple fantasy points splitting them. 155. This is ridiculous, the form that these two are in. And we thought we're going to ride this form. We're going to load up in terms of salary cap. I've gone the gold. You've gone the platinum. It makes a lot of sense. And I think it's going to be a very positive matchup for Marshall again, mate. It's going to be a good week.
Yeah, you just give me an idea here. I don't know if I should share it. But Rowan, no, I will. I have to now. All-star selections were made with a month ago. We wanted to celebrate the last month of footy by putting the All-Star packs out, and that's how we're going to be doing it going forward. We're going to commit to that.
Yeah,
might not always be as early, but it will be with a few rounds to go. So I think with the women's Aussie rules, it'll probably come out around 8-9 for the 10-round season.
Okay.
Gawn was in there over Cherry.
He was.
Is there a case that Cherry should be put in?
Yes.
Should we want a 23rd man? Does Cherry deserve to be in it? Because I feel terrible not playing this man.
Tell us right now in the comments if you're following along here. Should we add an emergency man to our all-star squad? And does Cherry deserve that spot?
Yeah, we should put that out to a poll on Discord because people would want Cherry. I don't know if that.
I want a Cherry.
I want a Cherry. I could never have the pack luck to actually get any of them, but yeah, I tell you what, he's been so good, and Marshall's been awesome as well. So Marshall has been the number 2 all year, and it's kind of like it was always Gawn, and then Gawn obviously got injured and fell off, and then Cherry jumped into the number 1 spot. Marshall's been there, fantastic, and I think your boy English is going to finish at best 4th. The season, if not 5th.
Pretty let's call it below average season for rucks in general. There just wasn't really too many startable rucks other than your top 3.
You don't need them.
Gawn,
it's
Cherry.
Seems ridiculous.
And now it seems like it's only 2 rucks you can play.
No, there is only 2 rucks you can play. You should be loading up on the salary cap like we have here. Platinums are easy enough to get, but tell you what, diamonds are tough. It's a big jump between getting a platinum Marshall and a diamond Marshall. And I tell you what, I'd love a diamond Ron Marshall, but I've got a platinum there. I think he's going to have a good game
nice.
Against the Blues. Enough talking about the ruckman. We've both gone Newman. He's pretty sort of standard. Not an easy matchup, but obviously the form he has been in, he's going to be a lock for most squads. Let's talk about the different midfielders we've gone with, because I'm riding the hot hand of Jack Steele here. So this goes against my Ken Kuhn pick. And that's because the Saints have actually looked really good. But they're done. But they knocked off Geelong last week.
They did.
And
You're
I tell you what, Ross is the type of coach who he's almost Cancun proof because he rides them so hard, and he'd want them to win this game and knock off the Blues here. So bad. So yeah,
Truly
I'm going to go with Jack Steele. I'm going to feed the hot hand. You've gone for Sammy Walsh, who hasn't been in spectacular form.
No,
but
definitely not.
He's got that upside, and in a game where the Blues might need someone to put them on someone to put them on their back, you think it could be Walsh.
That was my thought process. Yeah, I truly do. And if anyone's going to get attention in this one, it's going to be Cripper. Cripper's a big-time player, and they're going to want to try to neutralize him in some way. And I think that just opens the door for someone like Sam Walsh to come into this one to dominate. He's really good inside mid, but he can definitely run on the outside as well. I do see this being a fast-paced game, just the way the Saints like to play. You just know they love to slingshot the ball, and they like to play really quick and just put it into their forward line with some switch kicking and some long over the top kicks at that, trying to defeat the zone and to defeat the setup from the defenders. So I just think that plays into someone like Walsh, who's going to be all over the ground. We know his work rate; he's like a bloody engine, and that's why I'm backing him in. I think big time players make big time plays, and hopefully Sam Walsh is exactly that for Carlton on the weekend. Otherwise, there could be some troubles.
Yeah, definitely. Should be a good game as well. It should be a good Sunday afternoon. Should be a few really good games. Finishing off with, and as you drum roll onto the final game, my Port Power up against Freo, and I actually think we're in trouble.
You can't put him that large and then not play silver like me.
I ran out of salary cap.
Nah, no excuse. You can go make some salary cap room.
Nah, no way. I've put it all on Butters, but I've done that to Ryan because it's been a bit of a roller coaster this year. He was my favorite player in the competition. Then he was my least favorite player in the competition. And now he's not my favorite player, but he's still sort of like, you know what? I like him. And I'm going to enjoy him taking lots of kick-ins, hopefully, on the weekend. Porter raining down on the goals. But I don't think it'll go that way. But I do think he'll have a big game. I do think he'll have a really good game. I know we are really hard to score against defense there. But I'm going to back my boy in. And I'm backing him in big time. But I'm not backing him in big enough to put salary on him, which is the punchline of making him huge here. So I've actually gone in on Butters, but we'll talk about Ryan before I talk about Zach Butters.
Yeah, for sure. Well, look, I told you I was going to play a couple of my favorite players. Ryan is definitely one of the tops of those lists. As you mentioned, it's been an emotional season, the ups and downs with him, but I just love him too much. And in the final game, I want to show him my respect, and hopefully he can give me that same respect back and give me a good score, because I'm not expecting too much, but you just never know. Some of the pods I'm playing, some of the players that are in there, maybe I'll just have a crazy week and can score myself some packs and finish this season off strong. So that's the thought process. That's the only player I'll have in this game. I would have considered Houston, but he's suspended. Too soon.
I was going to say, I don't know if he got off. I'd be shocked if I refresh AFL.com here and I see that he has gotten off. But you never know. Crazy things have happened. But yeah,
mate, if Heaney got suspended for what he did, Dan Houston should be in prison.
Oh yeah, no, he didn't get off.
Anyway.
Headline: Houston will not play again this year. Yeah. So,
okay.
Oh, well, I thought it was a bit of a tough call, but yeah, oh well, we move on. 50-50 calls went the wrong way.
Do you know what? I'm actually the biggest surprise in this.
I don't actually believe that, for the record. I just was trying to get a reaction out of you.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't give you what you wanted, because I'm thinking of a scenario here, and I honestly thought Kane Farrell was 100% going to feature in your team. You've been banging the Kane Farrell drum, and you've been saying the only thing holding him back is Dan Houston and his ball-winning ability. And the second I knew he was suspended, I'm like, what is the bet? Cal rolls out one of his 100 Kane Farrells this round and goes, stocks up, let's go. And I'm shocked, absolutely shocked that I can't see one on screen. And if you do it now, it doesn't give me the same effect. So you can, if you want to go crawling back to him, you can. But I am astounded that from the jump, you didn't think Kane Farrell is starting in my starting squad.
Can I give you something that might be as good?
Okay.
I went out and bought a Kane Farrell diamond this week.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Does that make up for it? I saw him there for $25 and was like, he'd been sitting about like 30, 34, 35. And then I saw one come up for 25 and was like, yes, please. And thank
It makes
you.
up for it a little bit, but I'm still a little bit disappointed in you, as I'm sure is fair.
As the number one shareholder, owner, stakeholder, all the above fan favorite of Kane Farrell and that
Yeah.
beautiful leg of his. Yeah, no, I understand why he disappointed me, but I added my 58th Kane Farrell to my club. My squad. So,
Hey, fair call. You're allowed to miss on one or two, but I was very
wait for the
surprised.
competition where
I was
you can just play
surprised.
the same player. If you want to roll out 24 Kane Farrells, you can roll out 24 for Kane Farrells. That would be fun. That should be a fun one-off competition that we roll one week.
Goodness gracious.
You never know. With the we got some changes with the multi comps. It's going to mean we can do some funky things. So who knows? Next season we might have a few more things to keep the season interesting as we go along. But
Nice.
I want to talk about Zachy Butters
Yeah, go
because
for it, mate.
my thinking behind this one was simple. No one's going to play him this week because he's got a horrific matchup against that Freo midfield.
Fair.
So no, I'm probably going to be the only person rolling out a classic Zach Butters. So I'm going to double down on that and double down on the fact that over the last 3 rounds, this guy is averaging up near 150 points. So that 132 includes his scores of 101 and 109. So that just skyrockets when you look at these last 3 weeks of football. And
True.
I think he's going to be a beast in the middle. So I'm also hitting you with the stack with Rosie. So if one of them doesn't get you, I'm guaranteed to get you with the other, unless things go horrifically for the Port, which they might. We've had our finals. Mentally, we're already in Cancun. This is where we fall apart. We've done our job, and this is where we fall apart. So I can also see us having an awful game. But I'd love him to go 175 and for his prize card to pick me up 250 points. Sorry, his diamond card to pick me up 250 points. So that's what I'll be hoping for Sunday afternoon. Coming home with a wet Butters sail.
Oh gosh, there could be some serious sweat going on in your household.
Sunday's going to be a big game, but like I said, we've done our bit.
You've done your business. Yeah. You've secured it. That's awesome. But mate, that's going to wrap us up this show. We'll do our quick squad reveals and then we will let it go. But here it is, Zachy Butters Diamond featuring in the middle for you. You can see the salary cap is being distributed between Danaher, Cherry, Marshall, Rosie, and Tommy Green.
Well, remember, Tommy Green got swapped over to Dacos, so I haven't updated that.
Dacos.
But that's who I was going. I was going the Tom Green one. I wanted to go one of my midfielders on top of Butters.
Okay.
But yeah, I've put it over to Dacos, which I feel a lot better about. Just because of not only the matchup that Tom Green's got is a tough one, but also Dacos is going to win that Brownlow, unfortunately, but good for fantasy owners on Friday night.
For sure. And the Zeus Cannons for the final time this year. You can see a lot of my salary cap is also loaded up in the middle there. Got a couple silvers, 1 silver forward, 2 silvers down back. But the Marshall Cherry combination is dangerous, and the Goulden Dawson combination is where I'm looking at most of my points to come from. And you just never know. And hopefully that happens, and I'll have a good round and finish this season off strong. All-Stars have been out for a little bit in packs. If you're not sure what they are the best or some of the best performing fantasy players from this season. You do
the best minus Cherry.
Best minus Cherry, exactly. The only way you can get an All-Star is by getting an All-Star pack, which is on the Game Day Squad store. So if you're a bit confused, you can't get these in regular packs. You see here the All-Star packs, they're available in there, and you'll see the chance and the percentage that you have. Here is the entire squad that in all of its glory, again, minus Cherry, rip.
For now.
Cherry.
We'll see. Maybe we'll put it out to the community, see if they think there should be justice for Cherry.
Look at these good-looking fellas right here. Any Port players here? No.
You know what? The big announcement today.
Go on.
Zorko re-signed.
Yes, big Zorko right here.
So we did have
presumably is a defender next season. I don't know for sure. We'll get it from but he played a good chunk of time down in defense. I have a feeling heading down there.
He'll be a defender next year.
Yep.
Which means he's still potentially playable but
He's
not
definitely playable with his
but
average.
not the lock. But we'll see, because we did have Zorko insurance. If Zorko did retire at the end of this year, and we would have felt bad for anyone who had packed an all-star, we had a reserve Harry Mackay sitting there in wait. But we do not need you anymore, Harry. Harry Mackay can leave our all-star bench.
He can be
Or
put
not
to
even
bed.
bench, the reserves.
man, Harry.
He was running around in the twos. We told him he might get a call up. He's not getting one. So, yeah, sorry. Harry Mackay, the big loser today, as Zorko resigns.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you're right. You are right. But Cal, gonna do a little bit of trivia for you. Do you know which team in the AFL had the most All Stars?
AFL.
Well, like who had the most All Stars? Which team?
Yeah, it's got to be Sydney, because you're going to wind me up. If I'm doing an actual guess, it's Essendon.
Essendon's actually one of them, yeah. But there's also a team tie. Do you want to guess who that is?
No.
So Essendon had Caldwell, Martin, Merritt.
Yeah.
And the Saints had Marshall, Wanganeen, Miller, and Sinclair.
Of course.
So they had three.
Of course.
As well.
I blend those two guys together.
Yes,
and
it's very easy to do so.
Speaking of which, great time we talk about Skip every week on the show when these two boys come up. They didn't come up this today. We didn't even talk about them.
I'm scarred. Look, last round of the season, I'm picking my favourite players, not ones that haunt me throughout the year.
Well, Skip's telling me he's been playing both of them every week, and that's probably a good reason why Skip is closer to the top 10 and in a prize card hunt than we are. So,
exactly right.
So shout out Skip for going against our advice all season and it paying off. So.
Yes. Well, the next show, which will be this time, same place, it is going to be the season opener for the women's Aussie rules game. We are going to be going through our
I look different in that
squads.
photo, don't I?
You've evolved almost. Yeah, you look very different at that. But we're going to be going through our starting squads. It's going to be an absolute must-watch if you're getting ready for the season, if you want to make sure that you're going to dominate and go in with the best chance of being able to win some of the best prizes in fantasy sports. So make sure you've signed up already. If you haven't, you've got your squad name ready to go, and go back, watch some of that preseason content and get ready for the season opener show so we can dominate this fantasy season together. But on that note, thanks everyone for a great season. The last dance for our Aussie rules game. It's unfortunate, Cal, as you mentioned, no prizes for us. But look, before we head off, let's have a look.
I thought you were saying goodbye. I started waving goodbye to everyone. I'm glad you gave me a bit there, because I was just going to say, you know what I wanted to shout out?
Who?
I wanted to shout out Charlie's Angels, not because they're on top of the round there. Go to the season, because they had a monster round last week, right? They won the classic competition. Look what they've done. They've put themselves right in that top 10 hunt. So I'm not sure who Charlie's Angels is, but you've given yourself the best chance there.
Well, there's 30 points splitting 10th to 11th, and only another 5 points splitting it to 12th. So
do you know what that is?
These three right here are fighting for their lives this round. Very different to the to the mojo we had going into it.
Well, even Hastings Hornets there is not that far ahead. Less than 100 points. That is
less than 100. That's true.
That is an Isaac Rankin going down difference types maker. That's how close it is. Sorry to keep bringing that up, Crows fans.
I know, goodness.
But
this is fantastic. This is fantastic. And the Seaman is, I think, look, it's all said and done. 400-point advantage. This will be our classic winner for 2024. He has been a staple of this competition all season. You just see him every week on the leaderboard. So well done, mate. Fantastic year. And you'll rightfully get that top spot and champion. It's looking like
Jurgen's going to run away with that one.
Bales, boys. He's run away with it, right? 700-point advantage. It would take a borderline miracle and an absolute fumble to not take out the top spot. So congratulations there. I'm going to call it early here. I'm going to do it early, Crow.
Go on early. Well, Jurgen, if that doesn't come off, you can blame Tom for the someone putting the dark arts if you miss out on that. But also really, really tough there around the top 10, because prize cards obviously for champion and classic. Bickers holding on.
Look at this.
At the moment. It's only a few points.
40-point lead. Less. 40 points in the champion competition where you've got, some diamonds, maybe some squads with some legends.
Question for
It's
you.
a couple kicks. It's just a couple kicks, mate.
Question for you, and maybe we've got to put the classic hats on because we both obviously put champion squads out, but not very well. So maybe easier answering classic points. How many points away from 10th would you still feel like you're in with a chance of getting the prize card? Are we
If I
talking
was a
200?
classic, if I was a
Classic, because
champion,
obviously with champion the points are obviously a lot more with the multipliers. So if it's too hard to think champion, think classic, and then the champion guys
Are
can.
you talking about a realistic chance or a
I
ball?
no, I want you sitting there like you're actually putting your squad together and being like, listen, I need maybe it's 300 points. I'm actually in with a chance here. Things not
I don't
likely.
think it's that high. I don't think it's that high.
You don't think you can claw down 300 with a miracle?
No, I think realistically, I would still go for it. Don't get me wrong, but I would be very optimistic of something like 120 points.
Ooh.
If it was 120 points splitting it, I would be optimistic that I can make it up this round and I can get myself a prize card. But I am a little bit off that mark.
Well, that's probably about 200 points in the champion competition, which means that even Freo Blood, he's saying there's a chance for him to even sneak up, him or she, I should say, into the top 10. So
sure.
Good luck to everyone. Hope
everyone
gets the prize cards, and hopefully we maybe get to chat to a few of them at an event. Maybe we have, but that's not next. You've got that show next. I'm taking a break. You won't see me doing the Women's Aussie Rules. I'll hand that over to Bales, who will do an awesome job with you. So thank you, Tom, for what's been an awesome year. Not for our fantasy squads, but always fun to chat fantasy.
Mate, you can sign us off for this one. It's the last one, mate, for a little bit.
Yeah, well, thank you everyone that followed along this season. We hope you had an enjoyable year, and hopefully you're still in the hunt and you're still in chance with some of those prizes. But looking for a really big one next year. Go bigger and better with with fantasy, and I can't wait. I need a fresh restart with my squad, so I'll be back here. I'll have the arrogance back, and I'll be talking about how I'm going to win it all. So look forward to that in the preseason.